Hi traders, I have a special annex for you today. At the end of this video, stay tuned. It's an explanation of everything I did today. Okay, Tiffanys shorting. Tiffanys is up almost 2%, just shorted 2,000 shares. It's very volatile. My stop is over the highs. I'm risking approximately 1 point. Look at the point where it started today with a gap down. I was expecting to short it, but then it moved up 2%, and all of this with bad news. I did not expect it to continue higher. Okay, I'm up $700. It's looking good. $1,200. Getting ready for a partial here. It is not expected to continue higher. I have no idea why it moved up. Probably some kind of settlement at the beginning of the trading day. It happens. Okay, $1,800. Getting ready to buy. Okay, bought. Nice first trade in Tiffanys. Just up 1,600, not enough. Well, I think I should buy some more. Still have 600 shares. I'm going to buy 400 more. I'm not sure about the direction. Okay, buying. Okay, that's it. $1,600 for my first trade today in Tiffanys. Hope it will continue lower. DLTR. Just about to move over $72. Shlomo called it in the other room. Okay, bought. I'm long. It's moving. I can see some momentum, some buyers coming in. It's looking good. I'm up $300. Just put a stop order in Tiffanys for the rest of my 200 shares. Okay, DLTR up 30 cents. I'm up $600. Getting ready. Okay, selling. Just sold 1,000 because I think it's a little bit too early and I think it will continue. Okay, so far, just realized $253. I'll wait for the rest. Blocks. It's getting close to the lows here. I want to short it before it hits the lows. It's just a $14 stock, but it's a big mover. Okay, shorting 2,000 shares. Here we go. That's a new low. Let's hope it's okay. Blocks did fine, and just shorting right over here CHS also. Buying blocks. Not an amazing trade, but still another $300, and CHS looks like it should continue. CHS is not going anywhere. I'm moving out. Okay, just consolidating here, not having any direction. I'm out. I think I just earned $20. CCL, I'm shorting. Okay, shorting now. I was playing an entry earlier and I missed that entry. It failed. It moved down. You can see this bottoming tail here, moved up, but I think that it's also failing to move up. Okay, CCL, good job. Just 1,000 shares. I'm buying. Okay, that's it for me for the day. I'm still short CCL, long DLTR, which did more than 2 points. Amazing trade, and Tiffanys, of course. So far, 1 hour into the trading day, up $2,800. Thank you very much for watching. And here comes a special annex I promised you. I'm going to explain everything I did today. Okay, traders, here's a special part of the day. Many of you are asking me for more explanations, which I don't really have time to do live when I'm trading. So right now, after my trading day is finished, I can get into a little bit more detail. So let's first watch Tiffanys. Why did I take Tiffanys? Well, the first thing you need to notice in Tiffanys is a daily. It's very, very weak. So it's downtrending. It started the day down right over here. It did get to my top 20, so I was following Tiffanys. It's not there anymore because it's up now, but it was one of the losers today in the top 20. So Tiffanys looked great, and I was expecting to short it, and then I noticed that the first few minutes it's just popping up like crazy, moving up. Now that's something that happens many times during the first few minutes where a lot of volume is getting into specific stocks, sometimes, not always. So I expect it to fail because there were bad news in Tiffanys. It's not that it started down, gapping down for no reason. So Tiffany's moved up and I was looking for a chance to short it. The first candle that I've seen right over here was the place where I was interested in shorting it. I knew that my stop would be here, approximately 1 point. That's quite a big stop to start with because it's very volatile. But I also understood that there's a very good chance for a 1 point winner here, which I almost had, a little bit less than 1 point. So Tiffany's was my first trade for the day. I was expecting it to pull back from the highs, and then I was left with 200 shares. So I took my partial over here, which was good money management. It moved up. My stop was right here at 78.01. Now you always want to put your stops, if possible, not always it is possible, over whole numbers. 78, you expect to find some sellers there. So the stop is at 78.01, and I was lucky enough for it to move lower, and then, well, whatever. The end result in Tiffany was that it was a very good trade for me to start my morning with. It started out by being on my top 20 list, which was down, moving up. I knew that there were bad news in Tiffany, so I didn't expect it to continue higher. The daily looks quite bad, so there was a good chance for me to believe that Tiffany's would move down. Now, my second trade is DLTR, which was not really. I was not the one who found DLTR. It was Shlomo's trade, and DLTR looked great now for several reasons. The first thing, you can see that it's moving up very strong, a lot of upside momentum here. Now it also started with a gap down, but the big difference between DLTR and Tiffany's is that it moved up, it held to the highs, so of course that's a bull flag, and you can take a look at the daily. That's the big difference because DLTR in the last few weeks it's trending higher. Now there's a very nice breakout point here at 70, as you can see. So a lot of people would be watching DLTR. A lot of people would put DLTR on their watch list and be very interested to see if it breaks over 70. Now, so firstly, I can see that DLTR is being watched by a lot of people because of the daily. And then intraday, you can see that it moved over 70 very quick. So once it did move over 70, I didn't have an entry point there, but the entry point was 72. So Shlomo called it at $72, and I was very glad to watch it. And once it broke over 72, then less than 50 cents really, I got my partial. So I had my first partial in DLTR here. Then, since I put some money in my pocket, and since now I do not have the financial concerns to keep on holding, and that's one of the mental reasons that why I take a partial, then I held to the rest of my DLTR shares. It's moved down a little bit, nice reversal, continued more than 2 points, an amazingly good trade in DLTR based on the daily, based on intraday, based on a bull flag here, and just the combination of a very nice breakout and continuation. So DLTR was my second good trade for the day. Now my third day trade was blocks. Now blocks is a little bit different story. As you can see it right now, it's down quite a bit. It's now being traded at $13. It's down, as you can see here, 12%. So blocks is down today. Now it's also, of course, on my top 20 list. That's my Colmex platform top 20, where most of my trades come on. Now see who's number one. Number one today is blocks. So the only thing I need to do is just follow blocks at the opening of the trading day. How do I do that? I just post it on one of my charts. I have 20 different charts here which I follow. So blocks is just one of them. So I post it and take a look at the first few minutes of the trading day, and then I try to find an entry point based on the fact that blocks was on my top 20. Now, can I trade it in the first few minutes? No way. Look at the way it moves down. You never know where the pullback is going to be. Usually you do not chase stocks down like this. So in the first few minutes, blocks cannot be traded. It's just moving down, and then look at this huge move up. Now, of course, if you could have taken a short here, you would have made money. But just imagine that this pullback that you're seeing here would have happened somewhere around here. So this could turn out to be a huge loser. You never ever take a short in a stock that is just immediately moving down, even though it's down 11%, almost 12 now. So you wait for a pullback. I could have taken it somewhere here, but I was involved with other trades, so I couldn't really watch blocks at that time. So I waited for a little bit later. Now take a look at blocks here. That was a very nice consolidation here, and finally a breakdown. That's the one I took. I believe it was 1180 short. Now, I don't have to believe that. I need just to take a look at my trading room. By the way, that's my trading room where hundreds of traders are joining every day. You can see all the traders, the analysts here. I'm one of them, of course. So you can see all of our analysts and many of our traders, hundreds of traders every day are joining this trading room. And one of the most important parts of the trading room is, well, here's the chat, of course. So there's a lot of chat going on in the room, but there's also my announcements. So I posted blocks, as you can see here, for short under 1380, and all of my trades are here. Tiffanys is here, DLTR is here, blocks is here, CHGS, sorry, CCL, and some of the trades didn't really trigger today. So everything I'm taking is posted here in the room. If you join my trading room, you can join for a 14-day trial. By the way, it doesn't cost you anything, and then you will be able to see all of my trades in the announcements tab. You will also hear me talking them. Now, I always post them before I take them. That's a very important part of the trading room. So I posted blocks for short under 1380. Initial move was great. It moved down. It broke down very nicely under the lows. Now, there was enough time here for a partial. Now, that's a 30-cent move, as you can see here, almost 30 cents. So there was a very nice partial here, but then the remaining of my quantity, if I remember correctly, I had another 200 shares, was really stopped at 14. Now again, 14, if you find a whole number which is close, you can use 1401. That didn't help me that time. It doesn't always help, but in many times, like in Tiffanys, it did help. So anyway, I was thrown away for my last 200 shares, by the way, with a loss. I lost some money on the last 200 shares. I made a nice profit on the breakdown, but then I managed the last 200 shares. I should have had my stop. I did put it at the right place. Well, apparently not, because it continued to move lower later. But anyway, it was a nice trade, and it was based on the fact that blocks was down 12%. You do not expect a stock down 12% to move into closing the gap. Stocks that move into closing the gaps are those which are down 1 to maybe 3%. The ones that are below that usually continue lower, or at least doesn't move into closing the gap. And this is what I was looking for in blocks. I was looking for a continuation, and I got the continuation. Didn't quite continue, and I got thrown away for my last remaining quantity, but still put some money in my pockets. Now, the main important part to understand in this trade is the money management part, because if you do not have the right money management, then it breaks down and moves up. You could end up as a loser here, because it moved up 37 cents or so over my entry. So if you didn't take a partial at the right time, and of course, you need to know where to take the partial. That's experience. If you'll be with me in my trading room, I'll discuss this live. I'll take the partial with you. But if you're not experienced enough, certainly you can lose money on a trade like this. So the most interesting part in blocks was really my money management here. And I really did the right thing in blocks. My next trade was CHS. Okay, CHS moved up at the beginning of the trading day. Also, it was on my watch list because it gapped down quite a bit and then it moved up. I do not usually take shorts in stocks that move up that much, but At that time, I didn't have anything else better than that, and I thought maybe I could see an interesting pullback, which I did get, by the way. So I posted CHS for short. I believe it was 1180. Let me take a look here again. CHS, yes, under 1180. So I posted CHS under 1180 at my trading room, which was right at this point, and it did work out very nicely. There was one problem though. My target was 1160. It was 2 cents away from my target, and at the same time I took my partial in block, so I couldn't really manage both of them. So I should have had a better money management, but I didn't. And the fact is, CHS moved higher. So I was really at the point where I was losing money, like 10 cents on this trade really here. And my stop was, of course, over the highs, 11.95. But glad enough, I was glad to see that it moved down back to my entry and even under. So the fact is like this, it failed. I wanted it to continue moving lower, it failed. It was a failing trade. Maybe I could have put in some money in my pocket here, didn't. It really moved higher. So once you notice that you're in a failing trade, that it didn't really do what you expected it to do, you should be looking for a way out. You shouldn't be waiting for some miracle to happen. It moved down, it failed, it moved higher. I was down here. So I was looking to move out, to bail out of this trade. I managed to move out somewhere around here, and I really actually made a few dollars. I think $20 or something like this. At least paid for my commissions and more. So I moved out, and I was right, because look what happened later. The first sign of a failure, of course, is the reason is the fact that it did not continue lower, then moved up. Once you see something like this, just move out of a failing trade. No reason to keep on holding to anything that looks like that. My last trade was CCL, and CCL was also a big a big mover, and it was also on my top 20 list. It is down right now to 2.5%. You can see the big gap here. If you take a look at the daily, well, CCL doesn't really look that good, but doesn't look so terrible also. But a big gap down today, and I was looking for a reversal. Now, I could have traded it here, but at that point here, at the beginning of the day, I was very busy with other trades, so I kept on following it. And then I posted it for a short under 50.23. Now, the fact is, it triggered here. I didn't take it. The reason, because I was involved in another trade. So some of my trading room members took notice of this and told me that CCR actually triggered. And then I was watching it, and it moved a little bit higher, and then it came back down. So at first I thought that it really failed, but then when it tried to move higher and failed, I took the trade again, well, for the first time for me, at 50.23. By the way, those who took it at the right time could have had a nice partial here. Again, money management. I didn't join this trade, but I did join this one. It moved down, nice money management, put some money in my pocket just at this pullback here, and whatever comes next, comes next. But first, you put some money in your pocket. So the end result for me was up $2,800. So I had a good trading day. And I hope that based on these explanations that I just gave you, you got a little bit more understanding of what I really do here. And please, I would be very, very glad to see you in my trading room. That's a great trading room, and you can join free of charge for a free 14-day trial and really join and mirror my trades if you like to do that. So thank you very much for hearing this very long explanation part.